100.3 Phillies R&B DNA here with my brother from another, Mr. Solomon Jones.
What's up, Dion?
How you doing, boss man?
I'm good, man.
Good. Solomon is a host on our sister station, Praise 107.9. Want to tell him where you can listen at?
Yeah, you can listen at Praise 107.9 HD2. You can listen at Classics 107.9 during the weekdays, and also on the weekends on Saturday from 8 to 9.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no
We want to
doubt.
get started with what you're doing with Man Up, right? So talk about its inception, where that idea come from, and how long has it been running?
We started Man Up PHL in 2019, and we started it because of a tragedy. My son was 15 at the time. His classmate was murdered. He was shot in the chest in South Philly. He was 15 years old. And when I saw that young man in his casket in a school uniform, all I could see was really my son and really all of our sons. And I knew that I could do something. And so I convened people from around the city of Philadelphia. Around 400 people showed up. And we decided we would start a mentoring program to show young men another way. And to hopefully allow them to grow up to be leaders and to take our place in our community.
2019, about 5 years running now.
Yeah.
Coming up on the 5-year anniversary. We already passed it.
Yep, we are coming up on the 5-year anniversary in November.
Awesome.
So November will be 5 years.
What would you say has been your biggest success story so far in these 5 years you've been running?
So we started out working with men 18 to 35, and we've had many success stories with those men. Bringing guys in who had criminal records and who didn't really know which way to go, and helping them to get employed and watching them rise through the ranks in that employment. That's a success story. Watching guys come back and mentor other guys as peer specialists. That's a success story. But I think, the biggest thing that we've been able to do is go into the schools. Because again, we started out with adults, and the adults were like, yo, y'all need to talk to these young boys.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are shooting each other. And so we were able to form a partnership with the school district of Philadelphia. We started with 2 schools. Next year we'll be in 7. And in working with these young people, I think that's our biggest success, because what it does is it allows us to steer them in a different direction before the gun is in their hands.
What are some of the challenges that you face as well?
I think, when you're trying to work with young people, there's a lot of bureaucracy involved, man. And, the interesting thing is you got a lot of organizations that do great work that unfortunately don't get all the opportunities that they could because they're not proficient with paperwork. You know what I mean? The paperwork is what keeps you out, man. We have to do 3-hour trainings with all of our mentors around sexual issues because they're working with kids, and that's great and that's needed. But then you have to do a criminal background check. You have to do a child abuse check. You have to sign an FBI waiver. You have to sign a volunteer form. And so there's a lot of different stuff that you have to do that small organizations that might be great at the work, it's hard to do that part. And so we've had to really get up to speed in learning how to do that paperwork, because quite frankly, that's how they keep us out. They keep us out of stuff because we can do the work, but the paperwork, is a big challenge, man. And so that's been something that we've kind of had to learn how to do.
So as the executive director of Man Up, what does your day-to-day look like for someone on the outside looking in and doesn't really know, and how can they trust you with their kids?
Yeah, so one of the great things is partnerships, man. We work, of course, with Radio 1 to promote and to let people know about what we're doing. We also work with the Urban Affairs Coalition on much of that paperwork and insurance and oversight and audits. And so every dime is accounted for. Every meeting is accounted for. Every stipend that we give out is accounted for. We have a pretty substantial grant from the city of Philadelphia to help us do the work that we do. But with that comes a lot of accountability. My day-to-day is handling that paperwork that I talked about, making sure that all of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, that we have our insurance, that we have our clearances, that we have our curriculum, and running a staff of about 7 people who do fantastic work in these schools, and working with our volunteer mentors who go in and actually interact with these kids.
So your 7-figure staff plus the mentors are going to get together this weekend to give the kids a 4-day weekend with the Man Up camp. Talk a little bit about that and what they can expect.
Yeah, the camp is going to be great, man. This is our first year doing that. We're getting ready to go into our third year in schools. But one of the things we realized was that the kids had the whole summer and they didn't see us because our program operates as an after-school program in these schools. We wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to interact with them and to give them some of the great experiences that they're going to have at this camp. So the first day we'll be at Drexel. We'll be doing some workshops around partnership, anger management, that kind of thing. But we'll be playing volleyball as well. We'll feed them. Day 2, we're going to be at St. Joe's. We're going to do some workshops. We're going to do a flag football game with them there. We're going to feed them. Day 3, we're going to feed them. We'll be at a big luncheon, a brotherhood luncheon, where we'll just have some time to interact with them, teach them how to tie a tie. And then on Monday, we're taking them to Hershey Park. So there's transportation. We partner with a pretty fancy transportation service, and so they get into this big black bus, and with blacked out windows, and they like that, man. We really try to treat the kids as if they're important, because they are.
Yes,
We pay them a stipend to be involved in this. So it's mostly the kids that we worked with during the school year. They get paid. They get paid. We don't get paid.
Wow.
They get paid. They get $30 a day.
Wow.
For their participation in this, and we do it, man, because we love them.
Okay, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
How can the kids get in on this?
So we are closed out for this particular camp, but for next year, man, and for some of our other activities, we encourage everybody to go to manupPHL.org, fill out our contact form, and let us know if you have a young man who could use the help that we provide. We're going to be doing some other outside activities outside of just the regular schools that we work with, and we want all of the kids possible, man, to get in touch with us so that we can help them to build up. When I talk to them, the main thing I tell them is that we do this, A, because we love you, and B, so you can grow up, period. Right? Because if you can grow up, then you have the chance to be whatever it is that you want to be. You can be a radio host. You could be, an executive. You can be a scientist, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it is that you're called to do. You can do that, but first you have to grow up. We want to make sure that they grow up, and so they get in contact with us either at our website, manupphl.org, or they can call us at 267-748-7818.
That's beautiful, man. And I love the curriculum schedule. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, teaching them how to be a man, anger management, tie a tie, and then you send them off the back to being a kid.
There you go.
Hershey Park on Monday.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
You got the social media for ManUp?
Yeah, I do. Any social media, we're at Man Up PHL.
Okay.
ManUp at all social media.
Alrighty, well, you got the website, you got the number, you got the social media, everything you need to get in touch with Mr. Solomon Jones and Man Up PHL. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
No
It's
doubt.
100.3 Phillies R&B. We out of here.